Hey fellow hunters and chefs, Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Mind Over Magic, The Final School. Episode 4, Trying to Provide Basic Meals. The assembly hall is good to go. So now with the assembly hall, I am going to graduate, what's going on? Dave graduates. Okay, yeah, I'm going to graduate Dave. And I'll have Matic be the teacher that does it. And Dave will generate a relic based upon the trials that he has fulfilled. And we'll talk about relics once I get one. But it's primarily one of the main reasons to focus on being a really effective teacher, fulfilling the requirements and all. So next, we want to summon in a new initiate. We're going to be summoning a water one. And then this relic. You can assign relics to people, making them more powerful or giving them some sort of ability or something. So in this case, Dastardly Dave's Staunch Forefinger increases HP and power. HP and power. Let's see. Power would be really good for a Valka. So if I wanted to assign this, I would need to build a Relic Attunement, which is something I could work towards. So in the research tree, Relic Attunement is here. So the basic relics, I'm going to move up to the next thing we research, now that we have a relic to do. Reprioritizing that. And if we open a Valka's sheet here, actually, I'm not strictly. We have to store this. I don't 100% know that she can use that one. No, she can't use it. Never mind. What kind of relic was it? Where is the school inventory? Once I have the Relic Attunement, I'll be able to, scope that up. All right, here we go. New student, Cortez. Rough timer's up. And Cortez wants to eat honey gruel once, which is tricky because I don't have a gruel pot yet. Wants to charge a mana lantern, which I don't have one yet. And then wants to spend time dancing for a total of 9 hours in recreation, which is pretty easy to do. That one's the easiest because I already have a conservatory done. Nice. All right. In terms of stats, you are A tier speed, A tier power, D tier mana, D tier health. Not bad. Maybe we keep this one. I'm not 100% sure, but it's possible. Yeah. We can think about it. Oh, and Runaways from the Fog. So, this is a random event where we get gifted students that just, show up out of nowhere, effectively. And we're going to have a lot of raffles in a moment. So, the other issue that we're going to have here is I don't really have betting for all of these students coming in. So, what I can try to do is to set up a common room of sorts as fast as I can using plain beds. So I'm going to try to set up facilities for Sapo, Cortez, David, and Eleanor. So David is a gifted student. A gifted student has more relic slots than a regular student. So as you can see, Cortez does not have a 4th relic slot. David does. Has a special lap of luxury temperance affinity relic slot. And then Eleanor has the same thing. David is a BADA, Bada, for health and power and mana and speed, and is a new type of race. Because up until now we've had wolfkin and humans. I guess we had a quilted beast too, or quilted, but taking a look, wants to fight the burrower larva, which is like a dungeon boss. Wants to learn alone with no students present, which is a little tricky to do. And wants to crave recreation while learning. I see. Okay. That's a thing. Got it. And then Eleanor wants to defeat 3 enemy parties at 2+. Wants to eat in a mess hall, which I have a mess hall, so that's pretty easy to do. And then wants to attune relics twice. I only have 1 relic, so that's a little tricky. Got it. Well, we have a lot of raffles, and we will try to set up the accommodations for these. So here's the thing. I am going to shrink the ritual sigil here, because I have a plan. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have 2 different classrooms, one for David and one for everybody else, so that we can also work on David's trials, anticipatory learning and learning alone. So I'm going to add a new custom schedule just for David. And David's custom schedule will not have recreation, because he has a trial, of course, where he wants to learn while craving recreation. And then also, for now, David's not going to attend classes either, because I don't have a classroom for him. So David's just like waiting in the wings. So David is a raven cultist. A raven cultist is a bird cultist who are powerful in battle, but they have some sort of pessimism, a scar effect, which is currently unknown. And then Eleanor is another human, with the mana bursting humans. F on the Dark Mage. Youch. Yeah. I forgot to cover that. So, BABF. F is like, will never get more powerful. So she is probably just going to be graduated away for more relics. That's just fine. Alright, priority. Oh, I forgot to reset these. I'm going to try to assemble these beds ASAP so that we can not have students suffer. Okay, Ravels. We've got Major Mildew. We have got another Sappo. I'll re-roll that. Dumb Hunter. Dumb Hunter, the Raven Cultist. And then, Elder Scribbles. Pretty good name for a worthless Dark Mage. Yes, Elder Scribbles knows the ways of nothing. Alright, access. So here is going to be for students. And then Macho sleeps in the basement alone, or should be Macho sleeps in the basement alone because Avalka and Matic want to sleep together. So this is going to be Maddox. And this will be Avalka's. Right, I'm right about that. Yeah. Sorry, Macho. I mean, you're a wolf. You don't even care if you have a bed, to be honest. You'll get a bedroom at some point. Matic. Force assemble. Macho, force assemble. Let's try to get the bedrooms set up for the students. And they're getting higher quality beds. We'll slowly move away from cots once I have the time. And then we have 2 classrooms so that Dumb Hunter can learn on his own. And then we shrunk our ritual sigil, which we can put up here. Some of the students are going to fall asleep on the ground tonight because I wasn't ready for the runaways from the fog. But going forward, we'll have oops, capacity for them. So this is an austere bedroom for them. I don't recall. So Sapo needs to sleep in an austere bedroom, and he is right now. That's fine. And then Scribbles is sleeping on the ground, and Hunter's sleeping on the ground, but that has been fixed. They do have bedrooms for tomorrow. Okay, learning stones. So this learning stone here will be only for Dumb Hunter. Right? Dumb Hunter is the one that wants to learn alone. And learn while suffering from no recreation. And then this is going to be for everyone but Dumb Hunter. So everyone else learns in this classroom. Dumb Hunter learns in this classroom. Which means we have double the faculty that need to teach during class hours, but that's fine. And now that Dumb Hunter has his own classroom, congratulations. You go to class. At this point, I would, we're really only a few hours of Sapo sleeping for him to be graduated away. So, what element do you want me to summon next? And it might be worth me waiting to summon a gifted student, because I am building up the Gnosis shards. I have 19 Gnosis shards so far, but I am approaching having the requisite Gnosis shards for a gifted student of 45. It's only a matter of time. So the current priority right now is to build a relic attunement, so that I can make use of the relics I've got. Did I? I think we're still researching it, right? Yeah, basic relics are still being researched. You think David requires a... well, there is no David. A Dumb Hunter wants to learn alone and learn in an intermediate classroom. Okay, true. So, Dumb Hunter's classroom also needs the bookshelf. You are correct about that. Elder Scribbles, Mess Hall, Champion, Attunement. Major Mildew is Honeyed Gruel. I should also work on the Honeyed Gruel. In order to work on the Honeyed Gruel, I need iron. So I need to go into the caverns and get a little bit more iron to be able to make a gruel pot, to be able to get Honey Gruel. And a Mana Lantern is also something I need. I think I researched Mana Lanterns. Yes, but I do not have a Mana Crystal, so that's another thing for me to acquire. So Major Mildew's trials are kind of the hardest to fulfill, because I'm missing 2/3 of what I need to be able to do it. I can work towards it, but it's going to take a minute. Alright, Crow migration season has begun. What that means is, if we mouse over it, you can see, the Croa will spawn near your crops and eat your crops. Croa are like bird beasts, and if you kill them, they turn into like bird ghosts unless you process their corpses, so they're kind of annoying, but because I'm not actually farming anything right now, I can essentially ignore that message, because it's not a message for me. And it looks like you guys want me to next summon a Dark Mage. And this next mage might just not be gifted, I don't know, we'll see. Alright, in terms of priority, I'm also going to see teaching is highest priority, because Dumb Hunter here is like waiting for a teacher and there's no teacher present. So there we go. And as soon as Dumb Hunter's trial of solo learning and anticipatory learning are done at 25 and 50 a pop, he can join the rest of the group. He doesn't need to be kept separate forever. There's really no benefit in that beyond the basic trial fulfillment. Now, Sapo has the austere bedroom, which, if I force him to sleep, he'll be able to graduate. So I'm just going to like force him to sleep for 1 hour, and he'll be able to graduate thereafter. Dumb Hunter has already completed his solo learning, which means he can now join everyone else. All initiates, and none. So I'm closing this classroom down. I can leave it in place so that I can fulfill, like, unique requirements. And Sapo is completely done with all his trials. So, Sappy Sapo, you are going to graduate. Sapo done. And Macho is going to see off. And then when Sapo's gone, I will replace Sapo with another dark mage. So we'll have two water, 2 dark. If I wanted to turn this austere bedroom into, let's say, a common room, it is currently not interior, so I could fix that. It's not lofted because it's the wrong dimensions. It's missing dining room table, rec, and luxury. But I think what I would rather do is have you guys vote for specifically what I build next. So what to build next in the school? Kitchen, which would actually be more like a scullery. Common room. Relic. So there's multiple types of relic rooms. I'm going to talk about it so you know what I'm referencing. There is a library, which allows you to tune more quickly. There's the, and then there's the archive, which allows you to put a relic on display for some sort of passive benefit. So, library, archive, and then the other one that would be kind of important would be a research room. So, some sort of like mage study. Allowing us to research a wider variety of things. So, poles on the left. And with Sapo gone, we got the Spinner of Serenity. Which is, permanently increases this mage's conviction by 2.5. It's just like a conviction boost. So, for instance, if we... Well, I don't have an attunement bench, but one we do have an attunement bench. Oh, here's an attunement bench. We could potentially attune to that relic and gain the benefit. So I'll build an attunement bench in the basement. Oh, the Nasa shards. Okay, so attuning. Now, if we open up the relics... Can no one attune to anything? What the hell? Why does it say I have no relics? I have relics. I am staring at them. Yeah, so I have the Spinner of Serenity and the Dastardly Dave Staunch Forefinger. Can I make Major Mildew a Lightning or Aim Rage? Not solely. You can multi-class, but you can't change your base class. Maybe no one can use those relic types. I should double check that. So, let's see. Oops, that's not what I meant to click. I should have a chest dedicated to relics. So the Spinner of Serenity is a Serenity. And the Forefinger is a Staunch. Yeah, you know what? Actually, I don't think... So, like, human substance. Yeah, I don't have anyone that can attune to those specific relics. Sparks, Cultist, Wolfkin, Zeal. I see. Okay, well, we could, of course, plinth them, but you guys want me to build a kitchen next. So that's my next priority. Build a kitchen. Now the classes are over, for the kitchen, we need iron. So let's go here for iron. It might be worth waiting... for Elder Scribbles to get a little bit stronger, because Elder Scribbles, well, she's never going to get stronger. She's like power 0. So I'm going to start this battle with Elder Scribbles coming. Because Elder Scribbles wants to fight level 2 fights. as one of her trials and to win 3 of them. Hey, Turtle, thank you for the resub. Cheers. And then once this fight's over, I can summon in another Dark Mage. Alright, so Paranoia Advanced. Got it. Ooh. A little bit of self-harm there, but high damage. I like it. And Critical Strike. Okay. I'm going to pass, because I don't want you to take too much health damage. Because it wasn't necessary to have Scribbles cast. So Scribbles leveled up. Scribbles want to fight. We got iron for the kitchen. Sweet. So taking a look at our crafting, we want a grill pot, and I'm sticking the grill pot in here. And then likewise, I am going to add some additional chests that have higher priorities to contain raw food and cooked food. And it's a tiny little kitchen. It sucks, but it's going to fulfill our requirements, and that's all that really matters to me. And let's go ahead and get that Dark Wand student summoned in. So in this chest here, clear all, and what I want is meals. I don't think I'm going to have so many meals that this chest fills up, so I'm not going to bother with it. And then in the other one, I want raw ingredients. So this one, I want, let's see, gut berries. And here I don't want gut berries. So the meals we can make is bitter gruel, which is bitter rice, gutberry soup, made of gut berries, or carcass stew. So I'm going to make, do 2 and a half, let's say 5 soups. 5 stews. I'm not growing bitter rice yet, so I'm not going to bother with that. And then what I ought to do is I ought to go into a bit of like specific meal priorities. But Major Mildew's requirement here was to eat honeyed gruel, and honeyed gruel is here. So I'm going to need to grow bitter rice to be able to offer honeyed gruel. So given that it is one of his trials, let's start plotting out the bitter rice here so that he can fulfill that requirement. And because we have another Dark Wand student coming in, let's go ahead and kick off the raffle. So we have Fritz. Fritz is another Raven cultist. CADS, so S power, not bad. A mana, not bad. And a lot of health due to high base level. Wants to defeat an enemy party in a overground battle. So that's like some sort of spectral rift or whatever. Wants to participate in a ritual while fully rested. And wants to eat a lot of honeyed gruel. Damn it. Because, you know, honey gruel ain't something I have a lot of. But alright. I guess. And here we go, we're starting to cook. Now the one issue with a really small kitchen is it will become filthy very quickly. So if we take a look at the filth here, and also the clutter, it's gonna summon gremlins and oozes because it's so tiny, the percentage of the room that gets filthy and cluttered is quite high. So that's one sort of problem that we're gonna face. Medic is a severe break risk because you're very hungry. Apparently, there's not food for you. So I think what I'll do in this case is set up some gutberry planters on the other side. If I had more stone. I guess stone is a bit of a bottlenecking resource, which we can get in the underschool, going into the spine or through the fungal cavern. I'll probably do fungal cavern more. It's kind of intended that you go like top down. It gets harder as you go down, but the further down you go, the more dangerous stuff that you summon in. The other thing that I mentioned is I did want to offer up different meal priorities. So, for instance, if I don't want anyone to eat gutberries, I can turn that off entirely. So, nobody eats gutberries by default. Now, I think the quilteds don't care about it, because they, like, don't have taste buds, but regardless, we're not going to allow it. And then, additionally, I want the wolfkin not to eat the soups, because they don't have a mood penalty for eating crow or dire rats, so if they can eat crow and dire rats, I'd rather them do that. And you can set them up for a group here, to set up, like, group-specific meal plans if you want. So, I'll show you what I mean by that. So, if I had a custom group here, Wolfkin, and I go into the Wolfkin and say, hey, you belong in faction Wolfkin. Then all the Wolfkin are in the Wolfkin faction. And then go to the meals here and say, actually, maybe you can't. I thought you... Oh, is it in advanced mode? So Wolfkin will eat dire rats and crowa. So now by default, Wolfkin eat dire rats and crowa and leave these soups and gutberries alone. And I don't have to tinker with that. And then all staff only eats gutberry soups, and all initiates only eats gutberry and soups, and all apprentices only gutberry soup. And once I have access to that other meal that I'm making, the carcass stew, we can also include that as a meal priority. But now, the meal plans for the Wolfkin are fundamentally different than the others, so that I'm not cooking for them, which makes it a little bit easier. Can you build in the caverns? Not traditionally, no. There are some things that you can place down there, but it's not like a free build. So, for instance, I can build a storage chest here, but, like, not here. Or here. There's some things that you're allowed to place down there, like mana lanterns and storage chests, but you can't, like, actually build structures. You know, rooms that fulfill room requirements. 7 more seconds on the raffle. Oh boy. So this is a room that is going to summon an ooze really soon, because it is a filthy as hell room. So, priority. Anyone that is good at cleaning. Macho, I'm going to have you come and clean the room before we get an ooze. And this new student's name is another Sapo. I'm going to re-roll that. Sorry. Wishbringer. Sapo just keeps winning over and over, like super, super rigged. There we go. That's a bit more tidy. Alright, now that we have carcass stew, let's go to the meals again. And carcass stew will not be offered up to the Wolfkin, but will be offered up to staff, initiates, and apprentices. I have a high priority on assembly. Yeah, that's... I don't need an emergency assembly anymore. There's nothing to assemble, so it really wouldn't matter. But it's useful to turn off, just in case. Alright, the repel fog is wormweed pods. You know, I could harvest some wormweed pods and push it back, or I could just wait until it becomes gutberries and wood. I don't have a ton of gutberries, though, so that would be the only caveat of, like, not doing a whole gutberry and wood push. Alright, the next thing you guys want me to build, now that we have the scullery, is I could improve the scullery into a kitchen, because there's no reason necessarily to not to, although I don't have all the research for it. If it was up to me, I would say probably the mage study or the common room is going to be the most beneficial in the school, but ultimately I'm happy with you guys deciding. And I think I'm going to do another battle. So our Scribbles is coming down here. She has healed up as a result of her last fight, and we're going to be fighting a Fernling down there. Because I'm using Scribbles because she needs to fight 3 fights. And here we go. So a Fernling prevents hastened and movement out of this combat slot. Incoming fire attacks deal twice as much damage, removing the entangling. All right. I will probably tentacle sweep you. Bolt. Fireball, double damage. And it's a win. And we have a Gnosis shard vein that we can mine. We've got stone and underground stone. And then, of course, rats that we can hunt. What was I doing with the stone? I remember needing it, but I forget for what. What was I building with this? Oh, the gutberry planters. Yeah. Alright, the sun in... Actually, I should not be building here because this is shaded and has a penalty. Full sunlight is better. Alright, Dumb Hunter is now fully trained. Which is a problem. Because... Oh, this was my fault. So, he had anticipatory learning only in immediate classroom settings. And now he can't learn anymore, but he's fully trained. There's a few ways around this, which is to... Oh, no, you know, he's still casting. So I guess it's fine. But I'll leave it as an intermediate classroom, because I feel most of the quest requirements require intermediate classrooms, so I'm just going to keep running into that issue. We have a Fog Incarnation. So a Fog Incarnation is a monster that that comes into your base and, like, will overtake a room. In this case, will overtake this bedroom. And you can hunt it to wound it as it approaches. So what I'd like to do for Major Mildew's... No, it's not Major Mildew. For Wishbringer's trials is wound this thing, but not actually kill it. Which I don't even think I have a chance to kill it, so it's kind of moot. So what ends up happening is it haunts a room, disabling the use of a room, and then you fight the enemies to clear them out. So I'm going to put Major Mildew in here because Major Mildew... Or no, not Major Mildew. Wishbringer had the desire to defend the school. So this is an above-ground fight. It's also a mana vein. Spells cost half... how healthy is Wish? Wish is very healthy, so I'm going to have Wish and Macho switch. This is going to be a tougher fight, so I think the red light is appropriate here. And after this fight, we're going to do a major study. So, the damage we did to the fog correlates to the damage that these enemies have. So as you can see, these enemies have like 71 out of 113. They're already partially wounded as a result of the damage we did to the fog monster coming in. Ouch. And we're done. Wishbringer got a trial done and leveled up. So if you take a look at Wishbringer's trials, the Defender trial finished. And the malicious evasion repelled. A storm is incoming. Oh, frick. So storms are annoying in that lightning will like blow up your roof. So I'm going to cheese this storm a little bit by having a 2 roof. Basically a bait roof to be destroyed by the storm because the storm will otherwise like destroy things badly. And Breakfire, you are going to be constructing that for me. Eventually you get access to a lightning rod to help, oh, and there's other things that can help to avoid storms, but the lightning rod here would help to stop that. I just don't have it researched, and there's not enough time to research it. Because it's literally raging! Wow, there was no warning on that. What the hell? Build, build, build! Well, everyone's partying. They wouldn't be able to build here anyway, because you need to be a ghost to fly through the roof to build an extra roof, so it's not like they can help. So, Dumb Hunter, you need to do anticipatory learning a little bit more, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to end up graduating Dumb Hunter without having to do the burrow larva, because the burrow larva is way down here, and it's going to take too long to fulfill that. So he's going to be a partial fulfilled student, which is fine. Which means that he's very close to being done. Oh, no, that's not the pull I wanted. Element to replace Dumb Hunter once Dumb Hunter is graduated away. Fire, water, earth, air, dark, nature, lightning. You guys pick. You know, this storm is... I don't want to... Oh, there it goes. Yep. Right into the... I didn't have a double roof in the conservatory, so that's exactly where it struck. Thank you, Storm God. Appreciate it, Thor. You're rhymes with Thor and starts with W. Now that I have bitter rice, I can make bitter gruel. Bitter gruel is kind of like a general mold that everyone finds, like, less objectionable. So it's like a generic meal that might be nice, but I do want to save up my gruel for the honeyed gruel. Which is down here. And the honey gruel requires me to have a better research room. So, speaking of which, because that is my next requirement. Oh, so the room goal here, clear it, because that's not what we're working on. I would like a mage study. Ideally, a mage tower, if I could get the scholarly luxury for it, but like that's going to be kind of hard to do, but I can work towards it. So towered means not adjacent to stuff left, right, or above. Skewed means one wall is taller than the other by 3 blocks, and pristine means it has no negative luxury items. So towered and skewed are the really ones that I need to focus on. And what I could do in this case is something like this. Building it as like a weird wing. Oh, you know what? Not right over my farm, though. I should probably move my crops, ultimately. So I am going to be building it there, and I'll just move the crops. The other thing I could do is to build it higher, and it wouldn't block the crops. I think 30 tiles high, like, doesn't block crops or something like that. I forget exactly what the height is, but let's try to build it up here and see if that doesn't block the sun. I forget what the distance is, but, you know, there is a specific distance where it doesn't have a negative effect. And we'll do a lightning next. My Gnosis shards are enough to have a gifted student at this point. Should I summon a gifted student? Yay or nay? So a gifted student is kind of like Dumb Hunter or Scribbles, where they have a higher max potential than a regular student. In use of Gnosis shards. And I really don't have anyone that can use relics. Really not at all. Okay. Whew. Hey, Canadian Panda, thank you for the resub. Okay, we got a lightning wand, and you guys don't want a gifted student? Copy that. Thank you for tuning in to Mind Over Magic, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, fellow mages.